Today's video we start with a hydration chart. Am I hydrated? Aim for clear urine at least 10 times a day. Eat a diet rich in fresh fruits and vegetables. Drink a quart of water before meals. Thank you.
Out and about, see a bit of plastic, I like to pick it up. Shake out all the spiders and ants. And I've got a little stash of plastic bags. I drop them off at the plastic bag recycler once a month. This shit went up in the ocean otherwise. If we don't pick it up, who the fuck's gonna? So I had my quart of water. I use an old juice bottle, recycle. Reuse actually, even better than recycling. Quart of water before breakfast every day of the year. Count on it. Got a little breakfast snack here. Got about 4 kilos of papaya. These are... They're good, but they're not, they're not like you get in Costa Rica. They're a brand called Skyberry, which they're really good. That's the best brand in Australia. It's the only papaya I'll eat in Australia, pretty much. The only red papaya I will eat in Australia, because it's generally the best one. Still, though, it's not as good as what you're going to get in Costa Rica. I remember going to Doug's event in 2007, and when I was staying near the airport there for a while, the papayas are just fucking incredible. When I was eating so many of them, they're like, "You're selling this, where you're selling to?" And I'm like, "Mate, I'm eating this papaya." And then, no, you cannot eat so much. So then the next day I went back there, breakfast, bought this big box of papaya, bought my knife and spoon, sat there and just ate it in front of them. And then just didn't know what was going on. Then lunch came back, dinner came back. The papaya was just incredible. Incredible, and they were just tripping out. I know in the end they were like really friendly and gave me wicked service and just tripping out. It was pretty cool how much they enjoyed seeing someone really enjoy their produce. But it was just so sweet. It was fucking insane, off the charts, man. Off the charts. So yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. But again, not many calories in papaya. You get about 500 per kilo. So this is $24. It's probably going to give me maybe 500 calories. Not many people can afford to spend $24 on 500 calories of fruit, can they? And that's unfortunate. That's really unfortunate that if you want to eat healthy in today's world, you got to spend a shitload of money. We spend more money on food than anything else. I'll put it out there again that a lot of critics say, "Oh, Durianrider Freelee, blah, blah, blah." And it's like, how long have you done the raw food lifestyle for? Like 3 days? Would you spend as much money as we spend on fruit? No, you wouldn't. So shut the fuck up. Like, who are these people who have no face or nothing? They're just little trolls behind the keyboard just tapping away. Anyone can do that. Anyone can join up multiple accounts and write anything. But it takes a real person to put their face on the internet, attached with their name, identity, and say, "Hey, this is who I am, and this is what I believe." That's a real person. A real man or a real woman will do that. Versus just be like, trolling. Come on, man. It's okay to troll, but if you want to really have a statement, then share it. Start up a YouTube account and share your opinion. With a face. I don't care. But when people hide behind fake accounts, that's fucking gutless, man. That's gutless. So stand up, show your face, and say what you believe in, and that's fine. It's just when all those little gutless people hide behind fake accounts. And, why? Why are you so scared of Durianrider Freelee? We're not going to do nothing to you. Just show your face. Share your opinion. That's all you have to do. Let's answer some questions. So I got a question. How are you disappointed that Doug and Christina have just washed over this whole Woodstock Fruit Festival drama in their recent videos by not mentioning it at all? What are your thoughts? Well, not disappointed. I was disappointed at the start because I didn't expect that sort of behaviour from Doug and Christina. Now I expect it. We expect it. It's not disappointment. How to be disappointed in people is have expectations of them. You know, we expected Doug and Christina to be supportive of us and not, you know, do what they've been doing. And so when they did that, we were disappointed. But now we expect it. It's no disappointment at all. Because it's like the weather's changed. The tide's changed, you know. It's like picking up a good papaya, paying good money for it, and you taste it, it's like, oh, it's sour. If someone, when you know it's going to be sour, then it's alright. You just like drop it. So, for me, I remember in school, a teacher said, washing over a subject is a sign of guilt. Where you just pretend it never happened. And you see a lot in pro sports or in politics, they won't even address a question, they'll just be like, business as usual. Business as usual. So that's the card Christina and Doug have done. Doesn't make them bad people, but it just shows the level of integrity we're dealing with. So that was disappointing for us at the start, but now we've you know, we'll ramble on about it a bit, but we don't hate Doug or Christina. We understand that's the sort of people they are. And maybe one day they can improve on that, and that would be great, because they both have a fantastic message. But it's a disappointment that their character doesn't match the level of message they're giving. And you see it. You see how Christina deals with people who aren't famous or like Beyonce or whatever. And that is very telling of someone's character when you just brush people off, or then you use people as a stepping stone just to further your career or whatever. I'd say a problem would be that if you have... testing this mic out here. Is this even working? Doesn't even seem to be working. Anyway, I'll keep talking. When you have one of your goals as significance as a primary goal in life, then you'll just tread over everyone. But that's the highest value in life, significance. I'd say my highest value in life would be contribution. Contribution would be my highest value in life. And a lot of people know that, and they're like, you know what? We can trash Durianrider and Freelee. All they care about is getting the message out there. We can, you know, demote them, write them off, whatever. They'll just, you know, they won't care because they just want to get the message out there. We can do it. They can be our doormat. We can walk all over them. You know what? We change that with it. Fuck that. Not anymore. That's still our highest value contribution versus significance. So we're still going to do that, but we're going to do it in other areas. So, it's disappointing, but at the same time gives clarification that if people won't even address the situation, even ATM basically just made some little video just to cover his own ass, but still wash over the fact that he's selling fish oil, chicken collagen on his Young Living Oils affiliate links, and affiliates himself with that sort of company, and then says, oh, well, it's basically the same as if you got an Amazon link to sell a book. It's like, no, it's not, man. You're working for a company, a little agency, a little multi-level marketing agency that makes a lot of money selling an animal product. It's not the same as working for Amazon with some affiliate link to sell a book. But hey, it's easy to convince people. Sorry, it's easier to fool people rather than convince them they've been fooled. It's easier to fool people rather than convince them they've been fooled. I'm not sure if it's something in America. People are easy to trick over there, or I don't know what it is. But then again, I've got a lot of American... No, I don't know. It's weird, but it seems like Americans are more trusting. They're more gullible, in general. Not a stereotype, but then here in Australia as well. And I love America. I love Americans. not being racist enough. I'm just saying that in general, it seems like Americans are easier fooled. But then again, in Australia as well. Maybe just because there's more Americans, it seems like they're easier to be fooled. And it's easier to hustle them and scam them and that. But it's the same in Australia. I don't know. What do you think? Is it Americans more gullible than Australians? Is it... Why don't other people call out bullshit like me and Freelee do? But then again, you got a few Americans that do. So it's... Yeah, I don't know. What do you think? What do you think? That'd be a good study to do, wouldn't it? How would you do that one? Who's more gullible? Let's go another question. How come raw food gurus say raw is law, but they eat cooked nuts? Is that just an exception they make for themselves so they can stay on the pedestal? I would say it is. Because, and I was like that as well. You think, oh, you know, I eat a 100% raw food diet for 5 years, or whatever you count the end of the days, like it's some sort of competition. Doug says, I've been 100% raw for 20 years. And Christina says, whatever, 10 years or 8 years, whatever. But they eat cooked nuts. So it's a bit of a, you know, it's, I think if you, and I was saying to Don Bennett the other day, you know, he eats cooked nuts. He goes, no, I don't, no, I don't. And I'm like, you do. You don't eat 100% raw. You cook Brazil nuts, they're steamed. So the shells crack easy. No, they're not steamed. Like, Don, relax, it's okay. It's okay, you're not going to go to jail for eating steamed nuts. But maybe it would give some people a nervous breakdown for them to say, the last time I ate cooked food, technically was last night with a tahini versus 20 years ago or 10 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever. I think people just need to relax, step back, look at the bigger picture, and eat healthy. Doug and Christina and that give us crap for eating starches. But they eat starches as well. Carrot, beetroot, corn. I'll tell you what, steamed corn digests way easier than raw corn. Way easier. But we eat raw corn, and it's hard to digest because we don't want to lose that raw food paradigm. But you're not doing something good for your body. Eating a lot of raw starch. It's a funny one. A question, a statement here from Nicholas Damiano. Unrealistic in my opinion, banned advice to tell people to eat fruit or skip meals. It's hard enough to get people to go vegan, let alone 100% raw. I agree with that one as well. I remember for a small time in my lifestyle, I remember flying to Los Angeles and Costa Rica and that, and if I couldn't get food, I'd fast. Then I'd get off the plane and I'd be like, it's like fucking, 24 hours not eating, traveling, immigration, carrying your bike luggage, and then you get off the plane, you're just like, then someone meets you and you're like, you can barely fucking hold conversation. You don't want to talk to anyone because you just like, go get some food or something. So I quickly ended that, but I never ever told anyone really to fast during a flight because I remember, just getting into LA one time, getting on the bus, this raw food cafe. It was called Leaf Cafe, getting all this nut butter stuff, and eating that, and then jumping back on the flight back to Australia and just feeling so just shit. So I can understand when Doug says don't eat food unless it's fruit, but he doesn't even do that. He will have his cooked nut butters and stuff like that. So I think it's, I don't know, man. I really want to educate people on what actually works versus put myself up on a pedestal with this perfectionism, purity mindset. But I don't even fucking do it. Doug doesn't even do it. Christina doesn't even do it. you're guaranteed to have your audience sort of, you know, semi-fail, aren't you? Because you're not even doing your program. How can they do it then? So, while it's a great paradigm to have, I think if we become more transparent, more real with people, and less cutthroat. I mean, just voting Freelee and Durianrider, you know, off the pioneers list, and just basically saying, you know, this is what we think he is. After all the years of support, it's just aren't we trying to help people, like, versus compete? People say, "Hey, what are you doing now?" Like, look, we're just being honest now. We didn't start any of this. We're just being honest because people know, or they thought they knew, that we wouldn't say nothing. But the reason why we are saying things is because we feel it's going to help the movement shake down a bit, settle out, and then people can see what's going on. A house of cards, or whatever analogy you want to use, it becomes more real. When the movement becomes more real, people can see for what it is and do better at it, get more results, versus constantly beating themselves up because they don't eat fully raw, when the people who promote that lifestyle don't even do it themselves. So relax, carb up, fruit's always your best option, have a starch backup plan, whatever works for you. If it doesn't work for you, then move to Thailand and get your fruits. Simple as that. You won't ever hear us saying that vegan starch McDougall meal is better than fruit. High quality, tree ripened, high mixed value fruit. We're not going to say that. But we understand that you can't always get the good fruits, or you might not be able to afford it. People are saying, there's another comment I got here. Yuan says, "Harley, you're all over the place. Doug sticks to his plan." Well, he doesn't, but Harley eats fruit, pizza, sugar, pasta, etc. Stick to one thing only, Durian. If people can't eat fruit only, then they should eat whatever they want to eat. And that's why we have the fruitarians who are fucking going to McDonald's or eating, you know, whatever, animal products, fish, etc., barbecued ribs, Reese's Butternut Cup, whatever they're called, eggs and stuff. Because these people go, I can't have starches, it's got to be raw, so when I fall off the wagon eventually, go back to whatever. And that's what we see, but we don't want to promote that because it doesn't work. So, and we don't want people going back to a half jar of tahini, like Doug will say he does. We don't, because it's not healthy, man, eating that much tahini. One, it's too much fat, you don't get enough carbohydrates, and it feels like a brick in your gut. So, we want to give people a backup plan. Here's another one. This one's called the fruitarian one. It's like, again, it's like an anonymous person, probably done the lifestyle for a few days, and all of a sudden they know it all. Here's their question. There is an ocean of difference between occasionally eating cooked vegan food versus binging on highly refined processed junk food. I agree. There is an ocean of difference in a mindset between using cooked vegan food as a supplement for high-level activity versus just being too complacent to go and get good fruit. I agree. You're looking for justification to be lazy, Harley, and anyone who doesn't agree with your current set of beliefs, which has changed considerably over the years, is in the wrong. There will always be a good, better, best. We should strive for purity, and there should be a backup plan so as long as the goal, long-term goal is clear. I agree. At your level of health and income, there is absolutely no excuse not to have high-quality fruit. You can't get high-quality food in Australia, then you should simply move to the good food. Finished. If you can't get good food in Australia, then grow it yourself. Finished. Again, ocean of difference between eating cooked vegan food to supplement calories versus being lazy. I can hear where this person's coming from. Let's go point by point. Highly refined, processed junk food. That's pretty subjective, right? Because if I got this papaya and blended it, it's processed. It's if I juiced it, it's highly refined. If I dry it out, it's processed. Is it junk food? Some people say fruit's junk food. Some fruitarians say certain types of sweet fruits are junk food, so that's very subjective. But it's a bit of a soundbite. Highly refined, processed junk food. What does it mean? Doesn't really mean much, because you can get really good food and make it highly processed junk food in some person's book. There's an ocean difference between using cooked vegan food as a supplement for high level activity versus just being too complacent to go out and get good fruit. Yeah, I agree with that one, but it's a fine line, isn't it? You come home from work, you're not even really organised, you're hungry, what are you going to do? You're going to spend 4 or 5 hours driving around or riding around looking for good fruit. And then, you know what I mean? Like, people are fucking time crunched as it is. There's not many people who can do this lifestyle because the system doesn't want you eating high quality, high bricks value fruit. So you got to be fucking mega organised, or you're going to be like Christina and have an organic co-op basically out of your garage door. So you got all that fruit floating around all the time. But if Christina wanted to travel the world, it'd be a different story. If she wanted to be, you know, going on long bike rides or whatever, just traveling, it would be a different story. But I agree that Christina's model is an excellent one by starting a co-op in your backyard or your garage or your local community hall, so then you got food always floating around. But even then, you got to manage the right fruit. So unless you got a fucking shitload of fruit, like my friend's fruit shop, he's got fruit coming in there all the time. He rarely has ripe fruit because he's selling it and moving it. So even if you have a co-op or organic fruit shop your own, you still got to be managing it really well to have enough ripe fruit to feed yourself. So again, this person is sincere, but they've obviously been doing a lifestyle for maybe a few days or a week or whatever, and they're hardline, and that's awesome, but they're not really realistic. They're speaking with a noob sort of mindset, and I'd like to see them show us how it's done, but they don't even have a YouTube channel up yet. We should strive for purity, and there should be a backup plan, so as long as long-term goals. I agree. I agree, but again, purity can be very subjective. You got like guys like ATM who they want to live on 2 oranges a day, 1 meal a day, and that, in my opinion, is anorexia. That's a rampant eating disorder, in my opinion. I don't think that's healthy at all. It's not healthy, in my opinion. Again, purity is a subjective word. It can mean a lot of things to different people. I like to be objective with my definitions there. So this person is saying I should move out of Australia, go to Thailand. I can agree with that, and we're going back there in a few months for the Thai Fruit Festival. If you can't get good fruit in Australia, if you want to stay in Australia, you have to grow it yourself. Well, people just think you chuck some papaya seeds in the ground and you come back tomorrow and there's a fucking 2-meter papaya tree growing incredible tasting fruit. I'll tell you what, from the farmers I've spoken with, the organic farmers, minimum $2 million Australian to have an organic farm producing enough fruit for 2 people year round. $2 million minimum. People are like, no, that's not right, Harley. Like, you can buy a block of land for $20,000 somewhere. Yeah, but there's no water. The soil's fucked. You've got to have water. Water's very expensive in Australia. Very expensive. The land that grows the best fruit is up near Cairns. And that's very expensive land. Alright? And you got to rock dust the fuck out of that soil. You got to build it back up. Because all the sugarcane tobacco farms have thrashed it out. So you got to spend a lot of money, a lot of time, and a lot of years to get that soil cranking. Even my friends that are one of the best fruit farms in Australia, in my opinion, the last 10 years, we still couldn't go up there today because there's a few people who live on the farm, and if Freelee and Durianrider rocked up, everyone knows how much fruit we can eat, and be like, good to see you guys, but fuck off because you're going to eat all the fruit. So even my friends put a lot of money, close to $1 million in this farm, and it's an amazing place, but they're still, after 10 years of full-time daily work, isn't enough fruit to feed 2 full-time fruitarians every day. And a few other people as well who love their fruits. So, again, these people, these noobs are very sincere and passionate, and I understand that. I've been there myself. But once they go on the path for a while, they're like, whoa, this is the reality. So I always like to come from a place of reality. That's enough ranting and rambling. And Just share my comments and criticisms. Nothing personal, not hating, just saying. Don't hate anyone. Disappointed in some people, of course. Going on about it a bit, yeah, maybe. But I think that the more we clear the air and address these issues front on versus being fake, hey guys, and not really dealing with anything, talking about Beyonce concert or whatever, it just shows people where we stand and what we stand for. So hopefully people can improve from this, learn lessons, become better people, and help grow the movement. Versus, getting our maid to make all our food for us and saying, this is what I do. This is what you should do. If you don't, then you're weak. But it's not realistic. Not everyone's got a maid to fucking chop up all this amazing fruit. Not everyone's got the largest organic cop out of their bedroom. Not everyone drives a brand new Porsche and their dad's a CEO of a massive oil corporation, just massive funding to get anything kickstarted up. Again, that's great if you got that opportunity. That's fucking awesome. Not hating. I'm just saying that let's be transparent and real so then the everyday person doesn't get demotivated because they try it and then their family comes in and just smashes their whole raw food paradigm apart or whatever, or they go out and let's relate to people more. Let's do a fucking real video without all the professional camera work and the Photoshop and the Final Cut Pro editing or whatever. Let's just do real shit. Let's do real shit to appeal to real people so we can get a real message out there and make changes versus just be so perfect or pretend we're so perfect that we put ourselves on a massive pedestal that's unrealistic, it's untrue, and it doesn't really help anyone other than make them feel bad for themselves. Maybe hooks them in for a bit, get them interested, but you can see how someone's subscriber list doesn't reflect their sort of daily video views. Because what people do, they're excited, they come in, and they're like, oh, I can't do that, and they just walk away. They see Durianrider Freelee, and they're like, you guys look a bit more real, I could probably do this shit. I could probably do it. And that's why we've got such a big following. Sustained following. Sustained following. Our forum is fucking off the charts because it's actually sustainable. It's actually sustainable for most people. For everyone. Obviously, it's still hard because you're going against the status quo, but it's the most sustainable program in the raw food movement at the moment. It's the most sustainable program in the health food movement at the moment. And that's why we're going the fruit and we're going the starch. We're saying, this is what you got. What do you want to go for? What do you want to go for? Both are good. This is better, but both are great. Bases covered versus just this dogmatic, raw is law mindset, which is great if you live in the jungle, but no one does. Everyone's got options today in the world. Let's make them clear options, show them the best options, make it easy for people, have that long-term goal there as well. But no more fairy tales, please.